Okay, hey there. Today I will be making my grandmother's homemade mac and cheese. So to start, I'm gonna need half a pound of macaroni, 3 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1/4 a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 a teaspoon of pepper, 2 dashes of pepper sauce, a cup of milk, and lots of cheese. So to start, I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a roux. So I'm going to start by adding my butter. And we're going to put the butter, we're going to melt it over low heat. Now, a roux is a thickening agent. It's used to thicken products. So this is it's gonna thicken the mac and cheese and make it nice and creamy and cheesy. It's gonna be a fat substance, and it's gonna be mixed with flour, so that will thicken it up and help it be that thickening agent. So now my butter is melted, so I'm going to whisk in the flour. So I need 2 tablespoons of flour. So I have my tablespoon here. I have a flat surface to even it out. So that's 1 tablespoon. And there's 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to take my whisk here and start mixing it in and incorporating into the roux. This is going to that's going to add the thickness that we need. So as you can see, it's thickening up, bubbling up. I'll turn the heat down just a little bit.
Good.
And now it's time to add my salt and pepper sauce. So here I have my salt. We need 1/4 a teaspoon of the salt. Just do it over a surface here so it doesn't get all messy. So it got a little messy, but that's okay. So there's my salt, and then my pepper here. And then 2 dashes of pepper sauce. This just adds a little more flavor and gives it a nice kick. So yeah. That came out a little fast, but it's okay.
That's about a dash.
So I should add more?
No, I think that's fine.
So I'm just going to keep mixing it up. And now it's time to cook in the milk, or whisk in the milk, excuse me. So now I need to add my cup of milk. So if you just come here, and the key of pouring liquids, I have my liquid measuring cup, and you need to get eye level. And I can see that it's right at the 1 cup line now. So then I'm just gonna bring it over here to my roux and slowly start mixing it in. Whisking it in. So my goal is to get this roux to be nice and thick and creamy, so it can be that thickening agent for my mac and cheese. Now this might take some time, so I'm just going to come back and stir it and cook until it's nice and thick. Okay, so now I've got my pasta boiled, so it needs to be drained. So I have my pot holders here. I'm gonna take it over to the sink, and here's my colander. I'm just gonna very carefully pour it in the sink. So then what I can do here with the colander is just kind of move the pasta around, get all the water out. And now it's all good and nice and drained and boiled and cooked. Okay, so now I've been stirring my roux for quite a while, and if you can see, it's very nice and thick and creamy here. So I'm gonna turn off the heat and move it over. It's time to add some cheese. So we're gonna add a cup of cheese. It's a very cheesy recipe, mac and cheese. You want it to be nice and cheesy. So I'm just gonna stir that good in. And you can see the roux is nice and thick, and it's gonna help the mac and cheese really taste good and be that yummy, scrumptious mac and cheese we all love. So this is nice and good and stirred. And now we've got to add the macaroni. So I got my macaroni here. Just gonna add it right on in. And we're just gonna stir this baby all nice and good in, so all of the macaroni gets all the roux. So you can see it's getting nice and cheesy and yummy looking. So this is a nice thick mixture. I'm just gonna add a little milk to make it a little bit more moist. That way we can mix it up a little better. It'll be even creamier and yummy. Okay, stop that. So we're just about ready to start baking the mac and cheese. So I have a casserole dish here, and I'm gonna lightly grease it over the sink, of course. And I'm going to take my mac and cheese mixture here that's all good and cheesy, and I'm going to put it in the casserole dish. Now we have our mac and cheese all in. And the next step is just to cover the top in cheese. Our goal is that after we bake it, we're gonna have that nice crispy layer of cheese on top. That is just, it's like icing on the cake. It's so yummy. So I'm gonna put a lot of cheese on. I'm gonna open up another bag here. So I just got nice more cheese. I want all the macaroni to be covered. If you're not as big as a cheese person, you can put less cheese, but if you're not a big cheese person, this probably isn't the right dish for you anyways. I'm definitely a cheese person, so I'm gonna put a lot of cheese here. Okay, so now I have my mac and cheese ready to go in the oven. I put it on a baking sheet just in case some bubbles over. So I have my 350-degree oven. I'm gonna slide it right on in. And I'm gonna set the timer for 20 minutes. My goal is to get it nice golden brown and bubbly. It might take 25 minutes and we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes. It took a little longer. And we're gonna see how good this mac and cheese looks. And it looks delish. You can see it's nice and crispy on top, bubbly a little bit, a nice golden brown. And I can't wait to dig into this. So here is my grandma's homemade mac and cheese.